What's happening, sports fans? We continue our coverage of high school sports, and I know that I normally keep this next to me for my bias, but I've had to switch to another bias. We're talking exclusively UCLA fandom for the next couple minutes because we've got Grant Norberg, the sole future of our athletic department, on the line from Scripps Ranch High School. He's going to be playing football at UCLA next year. Grant, thank you so much for joining us. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing pretty well. Days are long, but hanging in there.
So how does a football and basketball player deal with having to be stuck at home all the time? What are you doing to stay in shape? How are you staying physically active?
Well, me and my brother, who actually got back from Ohio, he plays baseball in Miami, Ohio. We just bought a bench that is outside, so we've been lifting with that, trying to remain as active as possible.
So you've got the bench press going.
Bench, yeah.
Are we gonna? So we're gonna see just like eventually you've started having to add like the cat and your dad are on one side, like you're stacking groceries on the other to just keep getting new and creative ways.
Doesn't come with the most weight, but we're making do.
Deal. So home workouts. Are you guys doing a virtual? Are you doing online school yet?
Online school. I had class this morning for my college math class. Yeah,
I'm sure that feels a little weird. Everyone's kind of in that like, do I miss school? I don't miss that kind of school. I miss my friends, but I guess online school is okay. We're all in this like weird thing together. So,
it's weird.
What else have you been up to? Playing any video games? Are you a Netflix guy? How are you killing the time?
I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty and Fortnite with my brother and my friends.
Okay.
A lot.
Now, I'm always asking everybody that comes on here, are you willing to share the gamer tag?
Yeah, so my gamer tag is L as an EL and then Supreme, SUPREEM.
L Supreme. We will make sure that everybody... Eventually, I think we're gonna all end up just playing esports. Like we'll do a spring championship of Open Division, Fortnite, Scripps Ranch versus somebody. Like, we'll have to do that to get all the competitive juices
That'd be really fun.
Flowing and whatnot. Let's talk about that decision to commit UCLA football. It just sounds amazing. Like that had to have been an awesome process for you. What was that like?
Awesome. So, actually, during basketball season, the tight end coach, Coach Sage, DM'd me on Twitter and asked if I was interested in being on their team there. And I said, of course. Obviously, I said, of course. And then that kind of is what sparked our relationship from there. And then a couple of weeks during league of basketball, that's when I committed. And once I got that offer, there was no other place that I wanted to go.
So tell us about the actual moment of getting the offer.
Well, I was in the football office at Scripps. And it was kind of a weird story. Like, the wide receivers coach came in to talk to me, and he was asking about like if I like UCLA, and I was like, obviously I love UCLA, but at that point I didn't know that I had the offer, and he thought I knew I had the offer. So I left the room, and he kept talking to Coach Marlin. I was like, yeah, so Grant, is he excited? And Marlin was like, what do you mean? And then the coach was like, well, he has the walk-on offer. And Marlon was like, what? So he called me back in after the coach left and told me, and I called my parents, and that was fun.
Oh my goodness! Thank goodness, Coach Gardner called you back into that office.
I know. I was confused because I just got back to class and I got called out again, and I was like, okay.
So you're thinking something's wrong. You're thinking you're in trouble, or like you forgot something, and it's like, yeah, you forgot your Division I college football offer.
Yeah, so that was pretty special.
So wait, they don't want you playing wide receiver, do they?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say that seems like a twist is to have you go from defensive line to wide receiver. I want to talk a little bit about Scripps football, but you mentioned basketball first, so let's get into that. You can dunk, impressively so. What's that like? Does that feel nice?
Pretty fun. It's pretty fun, especially in game.
If I had to ask you, what is the single most enjoyable feeling on an athletic field? Like sacking a quarterback, scoring a touchdown, getting a dunk. Is getting a dunk up there? Is it the best feeling in all of sports?
I was asked that when basketball started, and I don't really know. Getting a dunk is pretty nice, but also scoring a touchdown is pretty nice. So they're about the same.
Fair enough. I've only experienced one of those, so I'll have to take your word for it. Couple inches short of the rim. I can dunk on a 9-footer though. But multi-sport athletes, I feel like a lot of them end up going on to that next level, going on to have tons of success. Yet we start to see this trend now of high school coaches telling kids, only play one sport. Start your freshman year and focus on one sport. As someone, for you, it worked out. You played 2 sports, everything panned out. Talk to some of the younger kids out there about whether or not you think, yeah, you should focus on one sport, or doing 2 or more is great for your mind and your body.
Well, obviously I'm biased towards doing 2 sports because I loved playing all 3 of the sports that I played. I'm not playing baseball anymore, but I love playing all 3. And I dropped football after freshman year because I figured 3 would be a lot, and I wanted to keep doing 2. So I did 2 sophomore and junior year, and then I dropped baseball and added football back. So it's the best because you have something to do after school every single day. But if you love to do the sport, then don't quit just to do one.
Somehow there is something in there of like, walks away from football for just a minute, comes back, gets a Pac-12 offer. So I guess good for you on like letting everyone else have a chance sophomore year and junior year to play football, and before you took all their spots back. Let's ask about, you guys make it to a championship game. You guys have, best season by far out of the last couple years, but in really recent memory of Scripps Ranch football. What was this year like for you?
It was quite amazing, honestly. I joined the team knowing that I would be a big contributor on the offense, and that was kind of one of the things that swayed me in from Coach Gardnera. But yeah, the season was awesome, and I would give anything to go back and be able to do it again.
Was there a point, I know you said you joined thinking you'd be able to help on the offense, but was there a point in that season where you guys really started to look around and realize, like, we got something special here? Because I think that a lot of the county saw you at 2 or 3-0, and it was like, oh, that's cute. Scripps is having a nice start to the season. But then it was 9-0, 10-0, 11-0, 12-0. You're into a championship game. Was there a point for you?
Well, we always kind of knew from the beginning, because ever since spring ball the year before, we all kind of knew that, like, this is the team. We're going to go far. And we did. And too bad we couldn't win it all, but only one team gets to do that. But yeah, we always kind of knew that this was the Scripps Ranch team that was going to go far and do well.
So do you feel like this is a message to the rest of the younger grades in Scripps Ranch? They're like, hey guys, like, you put in the work, it can actually happen.
Yeah, it's possible. And they still got some guys over there that can play, so I wouldn't be surprised if they made another run next year.
So you're saying, so that's what I'm saying what I was asking was, you feel like Scripps Ranch is in a good hands for the next couple of years?
Oh, definitely. With Coach Gardnera and that staff, 100%.
Any good Coach Gardnera stories you're able to share with us now that you no longer can suffer punishment condition from him?
There's one. When we found out that we had a 3.7 team GPA, he broke down and started crying in front of everybody. That was a nice one.
Yo, that's awesome.
Yeah, that was like his main goal, and we accomplished it. And he just broke down, and there was an emotional time. We all were there for him, and it was great.
So did you guys know it, and then he didn't know it, or what was that situation?
He knew it, and we didn't. So he started breaking down, and we were like, "What's going on?" And he was like, "You guys have a 3.71 GPA," and we're like, "Oh wow!" Like.
So that's awesome, man.
Because we knew that was his goal from the beginning, to get above a 3.5, and we got a 3.7.
Well, you crushed that then. You absolutely crushed that. You mentioned college math class was what you were taking earlier today in online classes. Do you know what you want to major in, or any idea what you want to study at UCLA?
I'm going into business at UCLA, so I'm doing that over there. And then maybe it stems into other interests. I don't know, but we'll see.
So we look forward, I guess, to all working for you someday when you come back, and we'll just see your name kind of slapped over all the businesses across San Diego. Oh yeah, because you'll use your NFL money to come back and take over San Diego and donate a nice field to Scripps and all that kind of stuff, as everybody is always telling us they will when they take off from here. Man, we really like. We're all fingers crossed that we get back to some school and whatnot. If we don't, thankfully you will get to see this guy wearing baby blue next season. The last couple of years, the football scene in San Diego, I think, has seen a little bit of a rise in local recruiting. Kids starting to stay home at San Diego State, kids going to USD, UCLA, USC. Kyle Phillips comes to mind. He's a wide receiver from San Marcos who we saw go play at UCLA a couple years ago. Do you feel like San Diego kind of as a city is starting to get a little bit more respect as a football town?
Oh, definitely. The high school kids, definitely. We have a lot of talent here in San Diego. So, and then also the standpoint of wanting to stay. Like, why would you want to leave this place? This place is amazing. So like SoCal, like everybody wants to come here, and we're already here. So,
Well, and I think I ask it because, and this is not meant as any sort of offense, but you didn't play at an open division school. You didn't play, you guys were Division III, and in that Division III game, we're starting to see now more guys from your team get offers to, Mackay to I think it was Reno.
yeah,
Max Smith from La Jolla on the other side is starting to pick up offers, and that's where like I think that a lot of people used to see it as like, oh, if you're not Helix, Lincoln Cathedral Saints, like you're not necessarily a football player. But now we're starting to see D3, D4 guys here in San Diego get that shot at that next level. So it's really awesome to see.
yeah, it is.
Excuse me. I'm getting so emotional. I love my city, man. So, I think I'd just like to close out on this note. If this is goodbye for you to Scripps Ranch, what do you think you'll miss about it? What are some of the things that you'll miss about the people, about the places?
Definitely seeing my friends every day. That'd be fun. I mean, that is fun, and that's why I loved going to school because they're all there. But the staff over there is great. And obviously I'll be leaving pretty soon over the summer, so I won't get to see. Hopefully I will, but if I don't get to see everybody again by summertime, then that's what I'll miss the most.
Well, folks in the Scripps Ranch area, if this does continue for a couple more months and we're not able to get back, let's line up about 7 feet outside of Grant's house on the way out. We'll wave goodbye to him and let him know we really appreciate him. We're not going to get close and hug you or high five you or anything. We'll stay 6 or 7 feet away, but we'll show you the appropriate love on the way out. How about that? That sound like a fair send-off?
That'd be awesome.
All right. Well, we'll agree to that if it comes to it. But for now, we'll just say stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you very much for being on with us, folks. A lot of top recruits here in San Diego, and we really appreciate you supporting all of them, just like Grant.